My spirit is unsettled. The disappointment that has washed over me is deafening. Come on, Gerry. I was rooting for you, good sir. I don't know why I let y'all get me sucked up into this show. This is why I never watched The Bachelor. I was gonna get too invested. I was gonna get too deep into it. Now look at me. Now look at me. Mad over people I don't even know. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk The Golden Bachelor, Season 1, Episode 7. Now, y'all know I was not going to talk about this episode, but y'all told me it's good, it's juicy, I have to watch it. On top of the fact that we found out who got the last rose tonight. So here we are. So, as always, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and then let's talk about everything that happened down below, okay? Also, I am less than 100 subscribers away from 19,000. So, Bachelor Nation, y'all have welcomed me in. Please hit that subscribe button. All right, let's talk about it. Bump all that. Let's get to why we're here. So, we are at the Ladies Tell All, which apparently is when all the ladies that have already been sent home throughout the season, they come out. We talk about everything that happened, the good, the bad, the ugly. The Bachelor or Bachelorette comes out and we see who they gave the final or who did not get the rose after hometowns. So they're introducing everybody. Everybody looks great. You see everybody done got their makeup done, studio makeup at that. Everyone's hair is done. Sandra. Okay. But everybody looks good. April stood up and was I said, April, you sit down, April. April was acting like she was Joan out here. You weren't no fan favorite, but we did like April. So, Kathy gets the opportunity to clear the air. I said, all right, Kathy, what you got? Kathy said, I'm a straight shooter. Okay, I tell it like it is. And it's like, Kathy, I'm going to stop you right there. Because I feel like anytime people come out and they lead with, I'm a straight shooter, I'm just real, this is how I am, that means you're full of it. That means that you know that you were rude, you were crass, and you truly just don't care. Okay? She said that sitting back and watching the show, she realizes she could have been more delicate. You could have. You could have. Teresa could have too, but you could have, Kathy. Kathy then said that, you know what? It was in the moment and it's over. She said, I've moved on. Teresa should have moved on by now. And then she said that they both could have zipped it. Now, Teresa's not there to get her rebuttal because we all know that Teresa got the last rose. But outside of that, like it's really just Kathy, giving her side of the story. So I don't know if there is a reunion for the Bachelor. I hope there is, not to see like drama, but I'm very curious as to how Teresa feels about her behavior throughout the whole Kathy debacle. Because when you look back at it, while Kathy was rude and a little aggressive, Teresa, that's why I said I don't know if Teresa was naive or really just didn't know no better. Or was she being manipulative? We will never know. But I'm sick of Teresa standing like this the whole time. It's like, Teresa, girl, if you're gonna be manipulated, stand up, poke your chest out and stand in your stuff. But we'll get to Teresa later because I just have a couple questions. Not a lot, just a few. Just a few. So we then get a lovely message from Kris Jenner, who sends in a message because y'all been saying that Susan looks like her. So Kris sent in a message saying how much her and her family loves the Golden Bachelorette. It's inspiring because y'all know Kris got her get back. How old is Kris? Kris has to be over 60, right? Yeah. I feel like Kris is, if not over 60, she's knocking on the door to 60. But she also said how much she loved Susan. Susan loves her. She loves Susan's haircut. I love Susan too, Kris, okay? Now we move into the sad, depressing part, and we have Joan. So Joan comes out, and Joan is so precious. Joan was one of the women that I think would have gone very far. You know, there were certain women who we knew just weren't going to get far, but I feel like Joan and Gerry really connected. So we know that Joan had to leave early for some family issues. So her daughter had a baby 2 weeks prior to that particular episode, and her daughter was calling her saying that she needed her to come back. Joan is saying now that her daughter had a very serious case of postpartum and she had to go back and be a mom. And that's still some real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a mother, but I know that my mom would go through hell and high water if I called her. You know what I mean? I remember being like super, super sick, and my mom was sick as well, and my mom still like brought food over to me and all this other type of stuff. So, like, mothers do what needs to be done, right? In most cases, not always, in most cases. So, we know Joan was one of the, I think, champions for talking about how a lot of older people start to feel invisible, right? And when you think about the way that society is set up, they do. Here in America, at least, not sure how it is in other countries where they might value their elders a little more. Here in America, you are invincible after a certain age. You know what I mean? You look at TV shows are catered to a specific age group. Reality shows are catered to a specific age group. Commercials are. Look at the commercials that they show during The Bachelor. Commercials for Good Feet. Commercials for Depends. You know, commercials for like, um, it was a commercial for like, what was it? It was for like memory. Hell, I needed apparently a commercial for like, you know, hearing aids and for memory loss. Like, it's all these commercials that make you feel as if you're not valuable to society anymore, when really the elders have so much wisdom. I remember talking to my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my, you know, my grandmother's sisters, and they have so much wisdom, and we just do away with them. We don't care about old people in America, and it's unfortunate. And Joan feels that Gerry made her feel visible. For the first time in a long time, she felt visible. She felt like somebody was looking at her and not past her because she is an older woman. So, you know, I said, jam, Joan. So then Jesse asks if Joan thinks that she would have gone further with Gerry, and she does. And I think she would have too. I really think she would have too. So we then get Ellen. So Ellen was faced, she said, with true happiness, then great disappointment. So she said she got gratitude from Gerry because she now knows that she can go on and live her life, and that she is excited to go on and live her life to the fullest. Is Ellen from New York? That East Coast accent came out loud and proud. I don't think I realized it before or noticed it, but that accent was accenting tonight. So we did talk about Roberta. Roberta unfortunately passed before the premiere episode aired, which is just gut wrenching. But so she said that Roberta was a big fan. She tried out kind of on some, okay, I'll do it, Roberta, not thinking she would get picked. She then found out that Roberta had stage 4 cancer. So Roberta told her, look, when you get back, we're going to watch the premiere episode together. Well, when Ellen finished filming and she got back, Roberta was in a semi coma. So Roberta was really just holding on because she wanted to be able to experience that with her friend. Ellen told her, look, I don't want you to suffer anymore. We'll watch it just in different places. I said, Ellen, please. I'm glad I didn't have a glass of wine before I watched this. Oh my God. So they kept panning over to this lady. And I was like, I know that a lot of people are empaths. Like, my mom is a huge empath. I have a really good friend that's a huge empath. But I'm like, this lady in the audience is like, girl, come to find out it's Roberta's daughter that was there. So she's thanking Ellen for being like a great friend and all this other type of stuff. And it was a moment, okay? A very, very, very touching moment. Y'all said this was gonna be messy. It was just sad. The every segment I feel like got sadder and sadder. So Gerry comes out. Sandra tells him that he wasn't just a gentleman, but a gentleman. I said, okay, Sandra, with the bars. But you can tell that Gerry is both. He's a gentleman. He treated all the women with the utmost respect from what we've seen. He was never rude to any of the women. He didn't talk about any of the women in a very crass way. He tried his best to give his full, undivided attention to all of the women. They all had time with him in some capacity, and every single woman always said how Gerry made them feel special and Gerry made them feel seen. And so he seems like just a good, like just a very good guy. So we get to the final rose from last week's episode. Teresa got the rose. When I tell y'all the anger the anger that went through my body. Boo! Tomato, tomato, boo! Why did Teresa win, y'all? Why did Teresa get the rose? Why did Teresa get the rose? Something about Teresa is not right, y'all. It's giving manipulative. I've been teetering on that the whole time. I feel like it kind of got glossed over because Kathy was rude to her. But y'all answer me this, please. If you don't leave any other comment down below, what do you think Gerry sees in Teresa? So I've seen a lot of people say that they think that Gerry sees like qualities of his ex-wife. It's not an ex-wife though. Qualities of his wife, because it's not considered an ex-wife if you're a widow, right? Right? No. So he sees qualities of his wife in Teresa. Personally, I think that Gerry sees that Teresa is very meek and mild. She's gonna go along with whatever he says, whatever he wants to do. And Teresa has made it her mission to tell him how much she can't live without him. And I think that's what Gerry wants. Gerry wants somebody that's going to be 1,255.2% into him. And he's seen that with Teresa. Not saying that Faith and Leslie aren't into him or that they haven't expressed that, but it seems like all Teresa ever tells him is how much she can't live without him. She can't see her life without him. What does he see in her though? We haven't heard Gerry say that, oh, she's so spontaneous and she's hilarious. And he hasn't said any of that when he's describing her. So it's very interesting that Teresa has somehow skated her and her hair, because her hair is bad. I've been trying not to talk about these women because they're older, but Teresa's hair is bad, okay? I don't know what it is. It's just plopped on top of her hair like this. I can't take it. Nonetheless, while this is happening, Faith done came out. Now we see Faith crying. I said, Lord. But see, this is why, too, a big part of me was saying that I don't think this show should have happened. Just because you have these women that are at a certain age in life, they're of a particular age. You hear a lot of them saying how they were closed off to love. They opened themselves up just to get their heart broken. Faith is devastated. So let's talk to Faith, right? Faith comes out. She's crying. I'm over it. So now Faith was thinking, is this all in my head? Did I make a mistake? Was he really not feeling me? Was I doing too much? Am I the drama? And that, I hate that she felt that way. To get that far, then she didn't know if she was capable of love again. I said, oh, girl, Faith, you're going to find you a nice little Western cowboy that wants to ride the horse to the store with you, and that's going to have bonfires in the backyard while y'all eat tomahawk steaks and Caesar salads. You know what I mean? You're gonna get you somebody, Faith. I didn't like this at all. Faith is shattered, okay? So then the way that the world was like, Teresa, right, right. Jesse said he was shocked. Twitter, I think Teresa was trending on Twitter, and not in a good way, sis. Not in a good way. Not because we were excited for you, but because everybody was like, WTF. So let's bring out Gerry. Gerry comes out and Gerry is crying, and the way that my anger skyrocketed. What are you crying for, Gerry? Absolutely not. If it's one thing I can't stand on shows like this, Love Island, The Bachelor, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, if you are the person saying no and you are dumping the other person, the audacity of you to cry, the nerve, the temerity. What? Gerry is out there crying as if she dumped him. I was so irritated with Gerry. What are you crying for, sir? What are you crying for? So Faith is out there sobbing. I said, this is too much for a Thursday. Lord have mercy. So got my homie Faith out here. You know, we gave Faith a hard time about this first impression rose. We did. But Faith redeemed herself, right? We just didn't want to hear about the rose anymore. So Gerry tells her that their moments were genuine and that he had genuine moments with all three of the women. He really just needed to figure out the right connection for him. I tell y'all this, Teresa and Leslie, how do y'all feel watching this man sit back and come out and sob over the woman he sent home? Sob. That would have my antennas perked up. Whoever Gerry is with now, if he's with one of the women still, whoever Gerry is with now, the way that would have my antennas sitting up like, oh, okay. Ah, baffling. Truly baffling. If you do know who won, please don't put it in the comments. No spoilers, please. No spoilers. So I just kept writing down, what is he seeing, Teresa? I feel like that is what I wrote every other sentence. So now Gerry starts crying because he broke a promise to her family. Yeah, you did, Gerry. But my whole thing is, this is why I've never liked when people make these type of promises. I would never break your heart. I would never cheat on you because you can't predict the future. Nobody knows what the future is going to hold. You can say, I'll do my best. I'll try my hardest to never break your heart. But I can't, y'all. I can't. I am hurt tonight. I had to bring out my kombucha to get myself together. This was too much for a Thursday for me. Let me know what you guys thought about this. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Joan would have gone further? What do you guys think about Kathy? And it wasn't even really an apology. It was a girl, let's move on. How do you feel about Faith? What do you guys tell me? If you don't write anything else, what do you think Gerry sees in Teresa? What are the rest of us missing? Hop in the comment section and I will catch you guys in next week. I'll catch you guys next week for the next video. Peace.